Sony just confirmed something they were trying to hide. The A6900 is real, and the specs they leaked by accident might change everything for APS-C shooters. But there's one detail buried in the rumor that nobody is talking about. Stay till the end. Because for the last 5 years, every time the A6900 was rumored, it never showed up. But this time, something is different, and I'm going to show you exactly why. To understand why the A6900 matters so much, you need to understand what Sony has been doing with APS-C for the last decade. Here's the truth: Sony has been neglecting APS-C shooters for years. While Fujifilm was releasing the X-T5 and the XH2 with 40 megapixels, Sony was still sitting on a 26 megapixel sensor in the A6700. And here's what makes that even more embarrassing: the 40 megapixel sensor inside Fujifilm cameras? Sony makes it. Sony literally built the sensor, gave it to their competitor, and kept the smaller one for themselves. So when rumors of the A6900 started circulating again, this time with a completely different kind of source, people started paying attention. And I mean real attention. The most credible leak came from Sony Alpha Rumors, one of the most trusted Sony-specific insider sites on the internet. This isn't a random Weibo account. This site has correctly predicted Sony announcements for over a decade. And what they reported stopped the entire camera community mid-scroll. The A6900 is reportedly built around a brand new 33-megapixel chip-on-wafer stacked sensor, and that phrase, chip-on-wafer, is not something you see in an APS-C camera. That's flagship full-frame technology. Chip-on-wafer means the processor is physically bonded directly onto the sensor. This results in dramatically faster data readout, which directly translates to less rolling shutter, higher burst speeds, and better video performance. It's the same class of technology used in Sony's A9 III. Then there's the processor, the Bionz XR2. That's the next generation chip beyond what's in the A6700 right now. Combine that with the new sensor, and you're looking at 30 frames per second on electronic shutter, 30 frames per second on an APS-C body, and the dynamic range 15 plus stops. For context, the A6700 sits around 14 stops. That extra stop and a half in a stacked sensor is a massive jump for landscape photographers, wedding shooters, and content creators dealing with mixed lighting. Now let's talk about the spec that content creators and filmmakers are losing their minds over: the video capabilities of the A6900. According to the most detailed leak, the A6900 is rumored to shoot 7K oversampled 4K 60p with no crop. Let that sink in for a second. 7K worth of data, downsampled into a 4K image, with zero crop factor. That means your lens behaves exactly as it should, no APS-C crop on top of the APS-C crop. And it doesn't stop there. For slow-motion shooters, there's rumored 4K 120p as well, but with a 1.3 times crop. So for sports, wildlife, or any fast-moving subject, you're getting incredibly sharp, high-resolution slow-motion just with a slight crop. Honestly, for most creators, that's a completely acceptable trade-off. Here's where it gets interesting for video professionals. Specifically, the rumored specs include S-Cinetone, S-Log, and full LUT import and monitoring support. These aren't beginner features. S-Log on an APS-C body with 15 stops of dynamic range means you are getting color science that rivals cameras that cost 2 or 3 times more. And then there's breathing compensation, a feature Sony introduced on their higher-end bodies. When you rack focus during video, lenses tend to slightly zoom in or out. That's lens breathing, and it ruins professional-looking footage. Breathing compensation corrects this digitally, in camera, in real time. Having this on an APS-C body would be a massive deal for solo video creators and documentary shooters. Add 10-bit 4:2:2 recording on top of all this, and you're looking at a video camera that would embarrass a lot of dedicated cinema cameras in the sub-$2,000 range if these specs are accurate. Sony's autofocus has been the best in the industry for years. The A6700 already has one of the most reliable AF systems ever put in an APS-C camera. So what does the A6900 reportedly do on top of that? Quite a lot, actually. The rumored autofocus system features 759 phase detection points, same count as the A6700, but paired with the new Bion's XR2 processor and an AI smart chip. The processing power behind those points is a completely different generation. Subject recognition is where the real upgrade shows. The A6900 is rumored to recognize humans, birds, animals, cars, trains, airplanes, and insects with high-precision real-time tracking. Now, the A6700 already does most of this, but the key word here is precision. With a stacked sensor that reads data significantly faster, the tracking latency drops. That means fewer missed shots when your subject makes a sudden move. Think about what this means for sports photographers specifically. 30 frames per second burst with AI subject tracking that's processing faster than ever on an APS-C body with a crop factor that actually gives you extra reach. You're looking at a wildlife and sports camera that could compete with bodies costing $3,000 to $4,000. And for video, this is actually where the autofocus upgrade matters most. Anyone who shoots video knows that AF during video is harder than AF during stills. Subjects drift, lighting changes, the camera loses tracking. With the new AI chip driving the autofocus at video frame rate 60p, 120p, the tracking is rumored to be substantially smoother and more reliable than the A6700. Sony's AI autofocus in video mode has always been good but inconsistent at high frame rates. If Bion's XR2 solves that, it makes the A6900 not just a better stills camera than the A6700, it makes it a genuinely superior video tool for one-person production setups. Now here's the part I promised at the beginning. The detail buried in this rumor that every major channel has skipped over. The A6900 is reportedly dropping the standard SD card slot entirely and replacing it with CF Express Type A compatibility. Right now, CF Express Type A slots only exist in Sony's high-end full-frame cameras, the A1, the A7R5, the A9 III. If Sony puts that in an APS-C body, it means two things. One, they are serious about this camera's performance ceiling, and two, your budget just went up, because CF Express Type A cards are not cheap. But here's the flip side: prices on Type A cards have dropped significantly in 2025 and 2026. So the timing actually makes sense. Sony might be making this move now precisely because the cards have become affordable enough that it won't turn buyers away. Now I have to be fair here because not everyone believes this camera is coming, and honestly, their arguments are strong. First, Sony has never really done an APS-C flagship since the NEX7 era. If you wanted something better than the top APS-C model, Sony's answer has always been, buy a full-frame A7. That's their business model. Protect the full-frame lineup. Second, the A6700 only launched in July 2023. Sony's typical product cycle for APS-C is 3 to 4 years. Releasing an A6900 before 2026 ends would be unusually fast. Third, some of the leaked spec lists have been flagged as likely fabricated. The 40-megapixel variant rumored on Weibo? Industry analysts have called that one out specifically. And Weibo leaker E8M. One of the sources has an accuracy rate of only around 20 to 30% on detailed specifications. So we have a credible source, rumors with solid insider history, reporting specs that are technically plausible. But we also have skeptics with legitimate business logic on their side. That's exactly why this rumor has the entire camera community split. So here's the real question: if you're an APS-C shooter right now, do you buy the A6700 today, or wait for the A6900? Here's my honest breakdown: buy the A6700. Now, if you have immediate work coming up, you need a camera this month, or you're upgrading from an A6400 or older. The A6700 is still an incredibly capable hybrid camera, 4K 120p, AI autofocus, 5-axis IBIS. It will not let you down. Wait for the A6900 if you're a resolution-hungry shooter who shoots landscapes or commercial work. If 33 megapixels, 30 frames per second burst, and that stacked sensor performance are things you'd actually use and you can hold out until late 2026 or even 2027, the wait could absolutely be worth it. But here's the one thing I want you to take away from this video. Whether or not the A6900 ships exactly as rumored, the pressure it puts on Sony is real. Fujifilm is eating Sony's lunch in the APS-C premium market, and Sony knows it. Something is coming. It's just a matter of when and what they're willing to put in the box. As soon as any official confirmation drops or the next credible leak hits, I'll be covering it immediately. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. And let me know in the comments, are you team buy the A6700 now, or are you waiting for the A6900? Drop it below. I read every single one,